What happened in 1959 that led a recent documentary to point to the set location as a possible cause to Michael Landon's cancer? We'll explore more in the following investigative video. You may remember Michael Landon from his many famous on-screen appearances and most notable roles. What was shocking was the brief time the actor and his fans had between his diagnosis and demise. What caused the star to shine so bright and to pass much too quickly? To begin, the Reelz channel's show Autopsy, The Last Hours of, may shed some light on the tragic origins of Michael's cancer. To explore this possibility, we have to travel back to the year 1959, when Michael Landon was only 22 and starting in his first major TV role as Little Joe Cartwright on Bonanza. Unbeknownst to the star at the time was the Santa Susana Nuclear Laboratory suffered a partial meltdown of a nuclear reactor, as released by the California Department of Toxic Substances Control. This was not light leakage. This catastrophic event led to about 2,000 deaths related to cancer and an uptick as high as 60% increase in a number of cancers, including liver cancer, according to information provided by a forensic pathologist, Dr. Michael Hunter. But what does this tragic event have to do with Michael Landon? Michael's next major role after Bonanza was that of Charles Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie. And it was on this set of this much-beloved TV series where Michael may have not only gained fame, but also become more susceptible to cancer. The set was only 15 miles away from Santa Susana, the site of the worst radioactive disaster in U.S. history, according to the narrator in the Reelz documentary. There has been further coverage on this site, and cleanup continues to remove significant contamination. Many lives have been impacted by this nuclear accident. Is it such a stretch to conclude Michael Landon's may have been among them? Michael Landon was diagnosed in 1991 when the cancer had already traveled to his liver. Despite this, Dr. Hunter didn't believe there was enough scientific evidence to directly relate the star's cancer with the iconic location. Moving away from the location, there was other press speculation as to Michael Landon's cancer. As with any large star, news of this sort was bound to cause a large stir. Landon wanted to handle his treatment on his own terms. He put on a game face in the short months following his diagnosis and did his rounds with the media. In a compelling interview on the Today Show, Michael even ended saying, tragically, how he'd like to return with George Foreman in August and do another segment. Foreman was the other guest at the time and had an upcoming fight he was promoting. An August goal was a steep one for Michael at the time, and sadly he passed on July 1st. He did open up in the interview, however, about his life, his struggle with cancer, and the one element of media coverage he found particularly troubling. Stay tuned to learn more about it. And if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more. Despite holding his own press conference and appearing on TV so as to handle the news himself, Landon was troubled to hear a rumor after his diagnosis. Word got out that the star wanted a child for his wife to remember him by. Michael Landon, known for his fatherly role on screen, was presently a father to 9 children and 3 grandchildren, with 1 more on the way. The man was far from needing more to be remembered by. After running through the litany of his many children, pets, and grandchildren, Landon scoffed at this rumor on The Tonight Show, sarcastically telling the host that after all he already left behind among his loved ones, quote, "My wife Cindy needs something to remember me by?" Michael was never fond of the rumor mill, and this last one irked him. He still tried to put a strong face forward for the fans and for the press. Appearing on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, Michael tried to be jovial and show his good spirits despite his dire prognosis. Fellow star Melissa Gilbert noted that in this interview with Johnny, Michael didn't look well. She called out his big, strong chest was gone. His voice was also thinner. Despite watching her on-screen father put up his best, Gilbert felt the man she saw being interviewed for The Tonight Show wasn't Mike. The only thing to keep her laughing was an anecdote on Michael's surprising self-treatment, which we'll get into next. Through his short time between his diagnosis and demise, Michael Landon even tried a few questionable alternative therapies, along with the traditional route of chemotherapy. Most interesting was coffee enemas, which the star admitted to on The Tonight Show. He made a humorous point to add that he used organic coffee. The star tried nearly everything to combat the big C, as he called his pancreatic cancer. He began after his diagnosis with a diet rich in vitamins. He avoided chemotherapy to start and tried a more holistic approach. However, pancreatic cancer has a low survival rate, and there's several reasons why. The first is that it's rarely detected at first. Most people suffering don't begin to show signs until much later stages, when the cancer has spread to other major organs. This was the case with Michael, where the cancer had already spread to his liver. However, Michael Landon was still young and healthy when his cancer struck, passing at only age 54. He was also healthy and in shape. Being overweight puts you more at risk for pancreatic cancer, and that certainly wasn't the case with Michael. These aspects continue to lead to the suspicion, aired on Autopsy the Last Hours of Michael Landon, of the location of the set of Little House on the Prairie and the nuclear episode that occurred in 1959. Michael Landon filmed from 1974 to 83, a mere 15 miles from the site. Though discounted by Dr. Hunter, the coincidence of the location and the 9 years Michael spent there leads to speculation. With pancreatic cancer being the third leading cause of cancer death and growing fast to being the second leading cause, did Michael Landon ever stand a fighting chance to combat a disease with a 3% survival rate once the cancer spread to another major organ? We may never get a conclusive answer on whether the site he filmed at was to blame. The site to this day is under cleanup. For the world, his death remains a tragedy. He'll always be remembered for his craft, his kindness, and his larger-than-life personality. Along with his beloved role as Pa in Little House on the Prairie, he also starred fittingly in the series Highway to Heaven. Michael Landon is marked number 33 in the sexiest stars of all time, and has also been inducted into the Western Performers Hall of Fame and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's also known for his work as a writer, director, and producer. His children, including his son Sean Landon, who was 4 when his father passed, remembers that he, quote, always wanted to help the underdog. With pancreatic cancer often called the forgotten cancer due to the fact it's not among the top 10 cancers diagnosed, however, it's the number 3 for men and women combined when it comes to death. Hopefully his passing will help shine the spotlight more strongly on pancreatic cancer. Michael Landon's passing was tragic, but he'll always remain a brilliant actor and kind and loving father both on screen and off. What do you think happened? Was Michael Landon simply unlucky to get a particularly fatal form of cancer, or was his largest role on screen partly the cause of his downfall? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.